All right, let's jump straight into it. We are doing a high-stakes vocabulary sprint. We're going to take 12 powerful words from number 81 to 92 on our master list and lock them straight into your brain using some really vivid, unforgettable mental images. Let's go. First up, word 81, amoral. It's an adjective describing someone who just doesn't follow moral rules. They literally do not care about right or wrong. Picture a person casually walking past a massive, flashing neon sign that says right and wrong. They aren't fighting the sign, they're not arguing with it, they just walk right past it without even glancing up. That is the essence of being amoral. Okay, moving from dry land to the water with word 82, amphibians. These are animals that are perfectly comfortable living in both environments. So visualize a bright green frog leaping out of a deep, shimmering blue pond, flying through the air and landing with a loud, wet smack right onto dry sand. Next is word 83, amputee. That's a person who has had one or more limbs removed. But don't just memorize the dictionary definition here. Think of incredible, inspiring resilience. Visualize a sprinter exploding off the starting line, powered entirely by a sleek, high-tech carbon fiber prosthetic leg. Word 84 is a fun one, anagram. An anagram is basically a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a completely different word. Imagine the letters of the word listen, literally lifting off the page, floating up in midair, and swirling around to perfectly spell out the word silent. It's the exact same letters, but an entirely new meaning. All right, word 85 is analogy. Think about building a mental bridge, because that's exactly what an analogy does. It's a comparison based on the similarity between the features of two totally different things. It's like contrasting a human brain to a computer processor, or comparing a beating heart to a car engine. It creates an instant connection. To truly understand something complex, you need word 86, analysis. A detailed examination. Imagine you're holding this giant heavy magnifying glass over a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. You are closely inspecting every single connecting edge and color gradient to figure out exactly how the whole thing works together. Now for a bit of a sharp shift in tone with word 87, anarchist. This is someone who believes laws and governments are completely unnecessary. Picture a rebel standing in a town square, aggressively crossing out the pages of a massive heavy rulebook with a thick red marker. And that leads us right into word 88, anarchy. Because, well, if an anarchist gets their way, the result is anarchy, a situation with absolutely no government, order, or control. Visualize the sheer chaos of a multi-lane city intersection where all the traffic lights are shattered, cars are pointing in every possible direction, and there are absolutely zero rules. Total anarchy. Okay, take a breath, because we are hitting the final stretch here. Just 4 words left to conquer before we put your memory to the ultimate test. Keep your focus sharp. Word 89 brings us back to science, anatomy, the study of the bodily structure of living organisms. Picture one of those futuristic, glowing blue X-rays scanning top to bottom over a human body, revealing the complex, perfectly engineered skeleton and organ systems right beneath the skin. Now for word 90, anchor. We're not talking about a heavy metal object that stops a ship. Here, we mean the person who presents a radio or television program. Picture a super charismatic host confidently straightening their tie behind a brightly lit modern news desk, staring directly into the camera lens. Word 91 is ancient, meaning belonging to the long past. To really feel the true weight of this word, visualize the crumbling, dusty stone pillars of a forgotten temple. They're just standing completely alone in a vast, windswept desert, having somehow survived empires for thousands of years. And our final word for this sprint is anecdote. An anecdote is just a short, interesting, or amusing story about a real person or event. Picture a grandfather chuckling in a wooden rocking chair, leaning forward to share a quick, funny memory from his youth. All right, did those mental images actually lock in? It is time to find out. I'm going to rapidly fire off the concepts we just visualized, and I want you to shout out the vocabulary word before I move on to the next one. Let's see what you've got. First question, which word means walking right past that neon sign, completely ignoring moral rules? Got it? Okay. What do we call that green frog living on both land and water? And what about the inspiring runner who's had a limb removed? Lock your answers in. Next round. What do we call it when listen rearranges to become silent? How about when you compare a brain to a computer? That comparison of features. And what's it called when you take that giant magnifying glass to a puzzle for a detailed examination? Think fast. Keep it going. The pressure is on. Who's the rebel crossing out the heavy government rulebook? Right? And what is that chaotic, lawless state with the shattered traffic lights called? Okay, what about the science behind that glowing blue X-ray studying bodily structure? Final three, you got this. Who is the person straightening their tie to present the TV show? What is the word describing those crumbling stone desert pillars belonging to the long past? And lastly, what is that grandfather's short, amusing story called? And time. Let's review the whole list. We had amoral, amphibians, amputee, anagram, analogy, analysis, anarchist, anarchy, anatomy, anchor, ancient, and anecdote. Honestly, if you nailed all of those, incredible job. By linking those abstract words to really vivid mental pictures, you just hardwired 12 new concepts straight into your vocabulary. Now here is your challenge for the day. How many of these words can you naturally weave into a single conversation? Give it a try and keep learning.